Howdy, howdy, and welcome back to Gale FFTCG. I'm Serah, your host, and today we'll be looking at the top 4 water cards from Opus 16 by Rarity that I think are going to be super cool and constructed, and that you should definitely look out for. I think water got some really cool stuff this set. I think it's got some stuff that's not necessarily in its niche, and I think that's really cool. I think it's always interesting when other design spaces are explored with an element, and this most certainly is one of those times. So yeah, without further ado, let's just dive straight into the cards. So first at common, we have Fiona, 4CP EX Burst, 8K, category FFCC, which is searchable, and it's an EX Burst, which is great. And on top of that, it's a princess, which is also searchable off of Serah. A lot of cool little synergies here. When Fiona enters the field, we get to draw a card, and when Fiona is chosen by your opponent's summons or abilities, you put Fiona on top of its owner's library. So basically what we can do is, while this card may not see as much play in, say, basically anything that runs the North Island package, because Fiona's a great target to have, having this in mono water or some type of like EX burst control with Axstar or whatever is really good. It's a card that is very hard to deal with, and if you do try and deal with it, the card just draws you more advantage over the course of the game. It's 2CP, 8K, because you're drawing a card every turn. It's an EX burst. It's just a great card, and I think this card will actually see some competitive play, and if nothing else, it will be great for Heroic. In rare slot, we have Marsh. Obviously, the 5CP Marsh was loved by many, or hated, depending on what end of the stick you're on. But they decided to release a new one, and it's really awesome. It's in water, 6CP, clan leader, 7K, that when Marsh enters the field, you can search for one character of cost 2 or less, other than light or dark, and play it on the field. That's really strong already. Being able to search any 2 cost, there are a lot of good 2 costs that are coming out this set and in past sets. I think this card will be really good, even just from that ability alone. When Marsh attacks, if you control 3 or more category FFTA characters, you can draw a card. And if you control 5 or more, you draw 2 instead. I think this card is really great. I would need to go back and look at how many FFTA we have, but it seems like there's at least a decent amount, and this Marsh could actually potentially benefit off of its second ability. But I really think its first ability is really just super strong. And I don't think until we have like something super broken, I don't think your opponent will want to Amaterasu this. I think they'll want to Amaterasu something else. But that's kind of all my 2 cents. It's just a good card in general, and I think good cards are just good cards, and there's not much more to say about them. Opus 16 Lightning is cool. It's a great heroic. It does something heroics I think should, and it sits in its own almost niche category as it being either build around or like this is really good staple for your deck. And I think this card does that exactly. So 3CP, category 13, which is really important, 7K. And when Lightning enters the field, we choose a forward. If the number of forwards our opponent controls is greater than the number of forwards we control, we remove it from the game. That is so strong. Remove from game untargeted. It means if we're playing behind, we can force our opponent. If our opponent plays Palamporum, we just play this Lightning and we destroy one of their twins straight away. It's really strong. We also have a special, which is ditch a copy of this card and remove Lightning from the game and then play it onto the field at the end of the turn. So we can hold off. Our opponent plays a wide board and then we flicker this and it does the same thing and removes another thing from game. And that's super strong. Also, it's worth noting that the new Serah from this set synergizes really well with this Lightning. Because it's a card of another element, you're also getting to draw and discard a card, and that's really cool, especially with this Lightning that controls the board until you need to play Serah, and then you play Serah and you are drawing a bunch of cards and forcing your opponent to discard. And I think that's really cool. I think this card is one to watch, and I think it will at least be a 2 of in most water decks, or really anything that's running water at all. And the legend, you had to see this coming. I can't really say that I like any other legend as much as I like this one. I think this one is totally worthy of its legend status. 3CP Tidus, 7k, Guardian, category 10, totally relevant categories. Tidus can't be blocked, already a good line of text just by itself. But when Tidus is put from the field into its owner's deck, you draw 3 cards. And when Tidus is chosen by your opponent's summons or abilities, you can put it on the bottom of its owner's library. When you do so, choose one forward opponent controls, put it at the bottom of its owner's deck. This card is so good, so much removal. It's a card you need to remove, but if you do not remove it, it goes wild. If you do remove it, you basically get back double its value, and that is so strong. Tidus is an absolute powerhouse, and I think this card will see a lot of play for a long time. Palimportum and Sky Pirates just get better because this card exists, and that is super terrifying for both of those decks. But who knows, maybe we'll see a different type of deck in the future that runs this. Maybe a full Guardians build will actually come to the surface with the new starter deck. Who knows? But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. And let me know in the comments what you are really hyped to see this set in the water category. And also don't forget to, like, comment, subscribe. All that stuff helps me so much. It helps me just know what you guys want. It helps me interact with you guys, and yeah, have a great day and a great rest of your week.